Geek Out! Pinkies up. Time for another Geek Out Book Club. I'm Sam.
I'm Jake.
This week we're going to be talking about Dry County by Rich Tommaso. Out in comic book stores everywhere and on Comixology on Wednesday, March 14th. Jake, what did you think of the book?
Aside from having probably my favorite current panel of 2018 in it, I loved the layout of it. I loved, I don't know, it's just this, following this guy around, and it feels
like
very
early 90s Miami, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, like slice of life.
Yeah, with crime elements. So as a bit of an overview, Dry County is the adventures of Lou Rossi, who is this, he's working on a cartoon strip for like the Miami Herald or some Miami newspaper down. And it's like 91, 92. It's like America's still kind of in the hangover from the decade that was the 80s.
Yeah.
And he's just trying, he's this early 20-something. He's trying to find his way. He's going to like raves and parties more out of social obligation. And then he finds a girl.
Yeah.
And then his world gets real crazy real fast.
If you identify wholeheartedly with like the first panel or two, I think it is, then you're going to understand and get this book.
It is probably the most relatable. I feel like I've read everything Rich has done at this point, at least through Image.
Yeah.
And it is the most like relatable shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a seal.
Yeah.
But
you do wear turtlenecks.
I do. I am a turtleneck.
Oh.
But the layouts though, for real. Like I know we always talk about the layouts, but like I love how it's like, is it like the rip paper from like a journal?
It's almost like it has a very pulp like kind of noir feel to it, despite the fact that it's not like a particularly heavy book. Like I was actually kind of surprised how much comedy is in this first issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it kind of has that journal feel as Lou narrates what's going on in his life at any given time. And
if you're wondering what my favorite panel is, I won't spoil it during this, but we talk about it in the interview, and it's great.
We call it out.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
I feel like his art kind of it's interesting watching it kind of go from like She-Wolf, which is very surreal, very given the nature of that story and everything. With this. It's almost like Spy Seal. There's like a clean line kind of element to it.
Yeah,
but it doesn't feel like
it's its own thing though.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean. Like you still know it's Rich Tommaso, but like it's just different enough.
Yeah, and I found that very kind of striking. Also, whereas Spy Seal kind of has more of like, I don't want to call them like necessarily flat colors, but they're not like there's a European sensibility with the color palette.
Yes,
there. This one, he kind of embraces that, like, there's the neon. You see it right there on the cover.
Yeah.
Right? It's probably one of the more vibrant books that he has put out, because you get a lot of earthier tones with She-Wolf. I mean, fucking Clover Honey is black and white. And this one really pops.
Yeah.
So, other than your single favorite panel in any Rich Tommaso comic,
yes, what
else really draws you into Dry County?
Well, just the character. The character that you follow. Like I said, I could identify with a lot of it, and just the simple story of like, this guy meeting a girl at a laundromat, like I haven't done, that hasn't happened to me, but I'm a sucker for that kind of like, I don't know, that simplicity of it, and being able to put myself in that situation.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's a very, for all,
and Rich is not afraid to show flaws with a character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, he also kind of alludes, this is the most autobiographical story he's ever done.
Yeah.
And I can kind of, I get that vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, Lou is a comic strip artist.
I like that. Yeah.
In Florida.
It always blows my mind. Like there's a panel where we see Lou drawing a comic in a comic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and like that's something where Rich had to like draw this comic around his own comic of him drawing that. You know what I mean? It's just this crazy,
the Inception level.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, again, that first issue is out in comic book stores everywhere on Wednesday, March 14th. We were talking up She-Wolf and Spy Seal. Those are currently out. Also, his other Image comic book, Dark Corridor. So yeah, check that out. He also has a remaster of Clover Honey coming out on April 11th, so keep an eye out for that too. But this has been another episode of Geek Out Book Club. I'm Sam.
I'm Jake.
Keep reading. This has been another Geek Out production. If you enjoyed what you heard, hey, we've got a special episode every Friday. Of course, there's the usual catching up show every Wednesday. And you get book club episodes just about every Tuesday these days. Thanks for listening.